So it's almost morning on the other side of the world. Kenyans are probably asleep right now. Ugandans are probably asleep right now. Um, and they're going into morning. But this is what's happening. Politics is happening as usual on the other side of the world. Politics is happening. There's an exclusionary period going on with the parties there. You have Nigeria that is in the news. You have Benin that's in the news. They've just elected another head of state. Politics is happening as usual. So when I look at what's going on in Africa, right, I'm seeing our people collaborating with each other. I went on my LinkedIn and I see photos like this. They're collaborating. They're collaborating. They're working with each other. They're finding solutions to their problems. And before you know it, they're going to have global dominance. They're going to have global dominance. They're finding out how to solve problems around the equator, whether it be forestry, uh, ecology, whether it be weatherization. They're finding how to solve problems with issues that they deal with on a daily basis. I was talking to someone and I noticed that they had a sweater on. I was like, is it hot on that side of the world? Is it cold? Because I'm thinking like, okay, 80 degrees is kind of like hot temperatures because that's typically what it is throughout that region. It's 80 degrees. And the person was telling me like, it's colder in the morning, but as the day comes out, it gets a little warmer. So they have the perfect temperature to their problems, right? Because they're not dealing with waste. They have critters on the ground and stuff like that. They have insect life on in the air, and that's airborne. Um, so they're living perfectly, as opposed to what's going on here, where like we can't even get into some of the discussions that the Bill Gates are having this in of the world, or that the Al Gores are having in the world. We can't even get into the discussions. We can't even get grants, for our own self determination as far as like doing what we would want to do as far as these communities are concerned. Because if you can get a grant, all you have to do is walk around your community and knock on doors and ask people if they want to collaborate. And if they don't collaborate, right, what you do, you give the money back. That's the only righteous thing to do. But if you see that you have money, right, all you have to do is knock on doors. Hey, we need you all to come out and meet us over here on this side of the community. We want to do this. We want to do that. We want to. Are you down? You know what I mean? Are you down? Um, and that's pretty much simple. That's simple. That's simply it. That's simply it. And you see here, they're doing agriculture, right? And it's supposed to be election season in Benin. So you have a head of state that's going out, and you have a head of state that's going in. Will he be different? Will he protect the homie? Will he protect their way of life? You see what I mean? These are the questions we want to know. These are the questions we want to know. So you see here that women are very active and participant in the upbringing of early childhood learning. They're very engaged. They're very engaged. This is not a game when we're talking about raising a nation. This stuff is not a game. The very things that they're doing in Kenya, the very things that they're doing in South Africa, the very things that they're doing in Rwanda, Tanzania, are things we can be doing here in America. Very things we can be doing here in America. These people are not playing about the future of their people. They're engaged. They're having a round table, right, over a discussion. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Okay? Let's give it a listen.
Because we are going to ensure that
if he does
there
not
is
get the
a
ticket of the
contest.
APC, do you think the APC would win the next governorship election?
We will win. We have the structure, we have the masses, we have the people with us.
You're
in Benue
downplaying,
State.
you're downplaying his
But
popularity.
I can tell you that Alia is doing nothing as far as Benue State is concerned, and that is our concern. It's
Are
my
you
party
saying
president.
this,
It's
Mr. Lancha,
unfortunate
because
that I'm
you
talking
belong...
about our governor in this light.
Mr.
But the
Lancha, are you
truth of the
speaking
matter,
this
I am a
way?
realist.
Are you speaking this way because you belong to the SGF faction? And
They have a court ruling, right, for surveillance of a pipeline. So the court's ruled in their favor. How does that work? So they have a very progressive democracy in most of the countries. If people feel like they can go there and just be there and not have to worry about being critiqued or vitalized, or however you pronounce that word, basically taken advantage of. They feel like they can go there and live there and live there and just tour the place. You know, not have to deal with vitriol. You know, that's a place that you want to go to. So you can see here when they're speaking to each other, there's not a back and forth. There's just an agreement that you both have to be professional. Could black people mimic this in America? I know they can. I know they will. And I know there's an advantage there. It may not seem like it, right? But they actually can. You know? Because I divide America into like two groups, right? You got those who are professional and you got those who are unprofessional. Every country has this dynamic, right? Where you have people who can't govern themselves and you have people who can govern themselves. You even have people who are in the midst of ungovernable, but who can govern themselves while living amongst them. Okay? When you read what's going on in places like Nigeria, like right here, for example, this is Nigeria. When you read about what's going on, you notice that everybody there who's on the ground is empowered. Okay? They're empowered to make and shape rules. They're empowered. They are empowered. And when you're engaging, see, this is an example right here. I think what she's probably Caribbean or maybe American. I'm not sure. I've never seen that name. Okay. They have a very vast food source. Very vast. The elders are engaged. Okay, these look like Somalia. These look like Somalis. All right. This is refreshing to be able to be a part of, right? To support them and what they're trying to do, right? Send money to the women, send money to the men, help them get what they need to acquire. Help them get what they need to acquire. Okay? You have a lot of Americans, right? They're in opposition to Africans succeeding in their lands. They don't want them over here. Okay? As if South America and Africa was not the same continent at one point in time. They don't want to be a part of them. They don't want to acknowledge them. Okay? And it's going to backfire on them in the end because we're going to need Africa's help. It's just going to be that plain put. We're going to need their help. And I don't think you want to sever ties with people, right, who know the secrets and keys to everything that you could, kind of view as sustainable on this earth. Okay? They have perfect hygiene. Perfect hygiene. All right? If they're laboring, they're definitely in the midst of some type of agroforestry, some type of agri-ecology. They're definitely in the midst of it. Sustainable living. Okay? Africa is the only place you can go on the globe where you can see people thriving in their own residence. It's the only place you can go. Okay, who do we have here? Okay, it's these, okay. I'm not sure, but this is interesting, right? I wonder if they saw my page and my picture. I wonder. This is interesting. Because the people here who I'm on the page with, right? We're all friends. We're all linked into each other. We have the same connection. Let me see. Let me write something very assuming. Love the photography. Africa is on the rise. Okay. There we go. Something very generic, something very assuming. All right. More agriculture. This is what I mean, man. Like, this is the way that blacks are supposed to be living in America, not anywhere else, but in America. This is the only way they're supposed to be living. They're not supposed to be living any other way. This is the only way we're supposed to be living in America. This is the only way. One second. Have you tried? I will look into it. Okay. This is like this is very simple here. Very simple. They're farming tomatoes and they're getting ready to take them to a market, it looks like. Okay. Look at how in shape he is, right? This guy is he has a wire bill. He has a wired bill. So you know it's the food that they're eating over there because they're not doing much working out. And their bodies is not the type that you would like, you know, they don't have workout bodies, like they're not bodybuilding. They have bodies where it's just like they're eating the right food and it's not like putting disgusting weight on them. You know what I mean? Like I deal with disgusting weight because I don't get to move a lot and the food that I'm eating is poor. You know? He can have $0 in his pocket, but for some reason he has an abundance of food. But everybody is telling you America is the place to be. It's the place to go. It's not. It's not. America is not the place to be. It's not the place to go. Unless you're going to change some things. Unless you're going to change some things. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stop here. I'm getting some messages from some people about some other things that I have to do. So I'll go ahead and stop here, come back, and we can get into it and see how it goes. Great peace, Yakoki.